Welcome to the Texas Goat Radio Show. I'm your host, Pretorius. This is part 3 of the 1742 live stream of Owen Benjamin.
Make you feel good, Dan. If you don't want to super chat me, go fuck yourself. Go to Steven Crowder. The divorced, lying, still on Twitter. The divorced, lying homosexual sends pictures to other guys of his dick. If that makes you feel good, then get the fuck out of here, Dan. Okay, anyway. So I said this.
So that was Owen Benjamin's response to, if you didn't catch the part 2, to Dan saying the majority of your audience is Christian. That's what his response was. Let's make sure, because this is definitely not normal, so let's at least do that.
A great convo. The cycle of wealth and power and corruption is fascinating. The Islamic Empire is criminally untaught in the Rockefeller schools, and I think that's intentional. It's funny how quote-unquote Christians will freak out if you talk to a Muslim. Like many were like, oh, you piece of shit.
No, nobody was like that. I don't believe anybody was like that. There might be some, but I mean, you can have a conversation. Now, as far as the anger and whatnot, he's already called out one of the reasons, and he tries to dismiss it as everybody was doing it back then. That still doesn't make it appropriate. That still doesn't make it good. And if your religion is based on someone doing that, then that might not be good. I'm not trying to I don't know enough about Islam to make a generalization about it. I don't think that's a good idea. But having to comment on somebody that makes statements like this, what he said was he's acting like people got pissed off at him. And so some people may have, because the Prophet Muhammad, he married a 9-year-old, from what I understand. And so Owen's response to that was, well, everybody before the 1900s in the United States was marrying 7-year-olds, which that's not the case. We already looked that up. The consent in Delaware was 7. The age of consent was 7. And then the rest of the United States, it was around 10.
Oscar's built on your farm and everybody fucks your ass, you know. I'm like, oh my God.
What?
In the Rockefeller schools, and I think that's intentional. It's funny how quote-unquote Christians will freak out if you talk to a Muslim. Like many were like, oh, you piece of shit, I hope a mosque is built on your farm and everybody fucks your ass, you know.
Nobody said that. Absolutely nobody said. Do you know how you know for a fact? Facts. Do you know how you know for a fact that nobody said that? It's because he didn't show that. If somebody would have written him a letter or a post that said that, then he would have shown that, because he is the perpetual victim. He has to make stuff up like he just did. That's one of the reasons why you can't trust a word that he says. So this is going to be a side note to any Muslim out there, to anybody that anybody, Scientologist, whatever. Just a side note. If you want people to take you seriously, Owen Benjamin is not the person that you want at all. It is so obvious of how much of a liar he is, how much of a manipulator, how much of a predator.
I'm like, oh my God. But if I did Joe Rogan, they'd be like, oh wow, fascinating conversation. I'm like, so these quote unquote Christians, like the Daily Bee or whatever, the Babylon Bee, like they'll freak out if you talk to a Muslim, but would kill to be on Joe Rogan, who is a drug addicted sodomite. Okay? It's very telling, and it looks weak. It looks very weak. Hey, Wobbly Bear. Oh, and I'm gonna analyze today.
Did you see how he just jumped and leapt for that? Hey, Wobbly Bear, whoever Wobbly Bear is, must be a hot donor.
The music of the show Succession. It sounds very familiar. I really like the music of Succession. Oh, Taylor Bear, you sent in my...
With how he talks about Succession, I'm really interested. There we go. That's enough interest. All right. So he's talked about Succession enough for me to look it up. Never heard of it until then. So it's a comedy drama. He fancies himself as a comedian. So that's one reason that's obvious. He's probably wanting... Is it still playing? Although he has no plans to step aside as the head of Waystar Royco, the international media conglomerate controlled by his family aging patriarch Logan Roy is contemplating what the future holds. He has lingered in the limelight longer than Even he thought he would, and now family members want to run the company as they see fit. Despite a best-laid succession plan, tempers flare over Logan's intentions. Kendall Roy, Logan's eldest son from his second marriage and a division president at the firm, is the heir apparent. As Kendall attempts to solidify his eventual takeover, he and the three other Roy children face a difficult choice as company control and family loyalties collide. Is it still Jeremy Strong, Sarah Snook, Brian Cox, Kieran Culkin? I wonder if Kieran was the dude, the child that was kissed aggressively by that one actress. It was one of them. It was one of the Culkins. Writers: Jesse Armstrong, Georgia Pritchett, Lucy Preble. Final episode, May 28th. Oh, so it's not even. He's not even sucking up to it in hopes that he can be a part of it. Maybe the next one. Lucy Preble, Jonathan Glatzer, Will Tracy, never heard of him. Executive producers: Jesse Armstrong, Adam McKay, Georgia Pritchett. Genre: black comedy, family drama, satire, comedy drama. All right, well, I was going to say that's it, but is there a family that it's based on? That's partly because the Succession writers are experts at satirizing our supremely weird media and political climate, and partly because the HBO show heavily draws on all the business and family drama surrounding Rupert Murdoch. Okay. Along with a variety. Who is Rupert Murdoch? It doesn't matter. Oh no, I thought it would have been interesting to see exactly what he was talking about.
Today, my parents are churchians and fell for COVID spell. A lot of it, dude, this is going to sound...
What?
Music of the show Succession. It sounds very familiar. I really like the music of Succession. Oh, Taylor Bear, you sending my suit today? My parents are churchians and fell for COVID spell. A lot of it, dude, this is going to sound cold. A lot of it just has to do with birth rate. A lot of it has to do with productivity and birth rate. And I have a missing piece. I realize that. I don't have that deep faith in a book that I do think is good for people. I'm pretty fucking autistic when it comes to, but I can see patterns, and I'm telling you right now, it's like, if you're lying to yourself and you're like, well, Jesus is better than Muhammad, piss be upon him, go fuck yourself, pedophile, blah, blah, blah. But I just look at your life, and I'm like, you're lying. Like, you're a liar. You're hiding. You're not doing it. I personally know a lot of Christians that are doing it, and they would get along great with the Muslim I just talked to. They would have a ton in common. You understand? It's a behavior. You are what you do. You are what you love. Where attention goes, energy flows. And if that makes Dan feel bad, wasn't saying I'm butthurt, just that as some Christian people agree with your statements about how Christians can be gay. This is what I'm describing now, Dan. I don't need any help. If I needed any help, I'll make sure and say, hey, Dan, what do you think about this? I'm explaining it right now.
This is all right. So let's see what this. All right. So shout out to Milker Nation. The way he's talking, the way Owen's talking to Dan right now, and Dan just said, all he said was, the majority of your listeners are Christian, and then that whole tirade that we just listened to, go back to part 3 or whatever that one was, same energy as 1666. The way he's talking to Dan right now, what we just saw is this was over 3 years ago. There's absolutely no growth in him. The only thing that he's gotten better at is containing his anger. Even just a little. See, that's not even accurate.
Your Bronze Star was probably earned killing innocent people in a foreign country. Probably made him want to kill some innocent Iraqis, I bet. If you want to insult me because you're sad or scared or you can't get your opium, go somewhere else. The thing to watch out for is don't tell me to spiral. Oh, the other day you said to tell you if you're getting too angry. Maybe I did. I don't give a shit.
So I guess the whole thing is he told his cult members, his victims, his bears, his congregation, that they needed to tell him to calm down whenever he needs to calm down. Stop spiraling. You're spiraling. That was a sign of growth. So I could just imagine what caused him to say that. Oh my goodness. So he has this is a shout out to Milker Nation. This is his video that's playing in the background. It says failed comedian Owen Benjamin live streams on DLive where his fans are required to pay a membership fee to participate. That means that they have to pay in order to play. Pay for him to read their comments. Anyways, this is an example of the lack of growth and the obvious display of his character. Despite their monetary contributions, Owen often berates and abuses the members during his streams. Many times Owen will ban members, requiring them to re-register and pay him an additional membership fee. These tactics have earned Owen and the Bears a growing reputation of being a cult in which the members pay to be abused. Owen's most recent victim is Bronze Star Bear, a worshiper of Owen who is a United States military veteran.
You're in a timeout. Next time you're banned for life. Timeout. I don't care if you served overseas or anything. I don't give a shit. Chill, brother. Okay, you're in a timeout. Next time you're banned for life. Get some fucking respect, Bronze Star Bear. Your Bronze Star was probably earned killing innocent people in a foreign country. Why don't you chill out? And again, if you want to come here and tell me to chill out or anything, just go to the Daily Wire. And I don't care if Bronze Star Bear has been a cool guy for a while now and he's been for a while. Dude, you have to be able to have control of yourself. If you want to insult me because you're sad or scared or you can't get your opium, go somewhere else. This is our body. I've had to kick addictions. Now do you not see how great it was that I'm no longer drinking alcohol every day? Imagine when that ends. When people are sober for the first time in decades, what happens then? You want to talk about a pineal gland flood? When you just feel so much pain all around you? Dude, I went through detox. I went through the trauma of it, of losing weight, of drinking distilled water, all that stuff. Don't spiral? Are you talking to me or other people? That's an immediate ban for life if you're talking to me. But if you're talking to other people, I get it. This is end of the road stuff when it comes to bannings. Because you being here is extremely valuable. Nobody insulted you. You were really triggered and irrational. All right. Bye, Bronze Star Bear. I'm glad I'm done with you. Delete and mute. Bye-bye. No one cares. I'm not triggered. You're a stranger in my chat who's called Bronze Star Bear. How's that? Is it Bronze Star? How's that doing? You're done with me? Good. Go to the Daily Wire. Type in a promo code. It's great. Most of the spiraling I've experienced is disappointment in others. Exactly. This is how I act every day, Bronze Star Bear. I have for a long time. I spiral about the moon's shadow. You don't think I'm going to get a little intense about food shortages? Like, what are you talking about? I have 2 little kids, a pregnant wife. Amy's grandma just died. Grandpa Jack doesn't want to be around people right now, which is tragic. And Bronze Star Bear's like, hey, man, easy. Cool it, bro. He'll be back. Of course he'll be back. There's nowhere for him to go. I mean, he's going to go. Maybe he'll join a gamma hive. But guess what? A lot of them are going to die. Like, I just gave up money to ban Bronze Star Bear. He was paying to be a member. That is not a possible thing to do when people are motivated by the devil's dick in their mouth or anus. So what you understand when you watch something like that is there are things more valuable than money. Stability of community, respect. You can't. I told him to not talk to me like that. Could he help it? No. Bronze Star Bear probably has a lot of things he has to deal with in his life, and he wants to put it on me, which is no new thing, guys. I was born in darkness. I was born in darkness. I was born in gay darkness. I was born in gay darkness. I've been figuring out what makes someone a homo by pattern recognition since I was onto the scent of my father. Bronze Star is a soldier of Rogan's anus. Yes. I might bail on streams though if it gets to the point where I'm just arguing with retards because it isn't going to be helpful to anybody. Dude, I hope Bronze Star Bear comes back. I hope he realizes that I'm not his enemy. And I talk like this because it's funny. I re-listen to my streams. I laugh out loud when I spiral like that. It's not spiraling. I like when people talk like me. It makes me laugh. Like my brother's the funniest person I know. He's always yelling. He's like, dude, look at the leaves. It makes me laugh. What is that? Like that? That makes me laugh and feel calm. And I just gave him a timeout and it made him even more mad. Probably made him want to kill some innocent Iraqis I met. Don't care. You want to insult me? I'll insult you because that's, whatever. It's something that he has to live with. I don't know.
He said, don't insult me or I'll insult you. Now, the only thing that he said, gathering, context clues, was don't spiral. And then he said, well, I probably did say, tell me not to spiral, but I don't care. This behavior is years apart. Very
eloquent and direct way. The Christians that want the truth and want, to live their life properly agree with everything I'm saying. The ones that are like,
nope. The answer is no to that. Heavy no. No. That's why it's important to decipher through the horse hockey, is because he uses universal truths. He uses nuggets of truth, things that even kind of sound right, but whenever you actually listen, you're like, that is absolute meaningless hogwash.
Sure, they're scared someone's going to take away their porn. They're scared someone's going to take away their booze and their pills and their lies. And frankly, you're already conquered. You just don't know it yet. Like when you get when your artery gets cut And with every pump of your heart, you're closer to death. You have about a minute and a half if you don't do a tourniquet before you're dead. And if you don't have a tourniquet, you're already dead. You just don't know it yet. That's Christendom in the West. Unless
That's everybody that disagrees with him is that's what that breaks down to. That's what he wants. That's why he was so gleeful over Davy Crocco's death, and just very interested in people that try to speak up against him. Them dying is because anybody who disagrees with him is his enemy. Anybody that's he just displayed that with the Bronze Star thing. He attacked me first. He told him not to spiral. Dan in this one just said, "Hey, dude, a lot of your listeners are Christian," and then he said the same thing. Go to the Daily Wire. Go to Steven Crowder. Same human being. Same grift. Same predatory behavior. Same abusive behavior. Years apart. Years apart.
There's a massive turnaround of behavior, decentralized behavior. The irony is, there's so many ironies, is what I'm preaching and what I'm telling you is more beneficial to Christianity than 99% of.
No. This is the Texas Goat Radio Show. I am your host, Matorius. As always, till next time.